major big buying for tomorrow on Monday. We have some stocks that are actually trying to reverse back up with strength, like Meta is one, looking like it wants to get that strength, broke major resistance levels. We have to update all new support, resistance levels, price predictions on some of these stocks. Even like Microsoft is getting some strength, but then you have some stocks that are actually still slow, like Nvidia is still slow. If you look at Apple as well, Apple ran up to all-time highs, seeming like it wants to run to more all-time highs. So some are moving, some aren't. We're going to go over them, all major names. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. Let's get straight into it. Let's go ahead and start off with AMD. So AMD will still have that support level at 206.35. We were looking for that push out of here on AMD. Hope you guys all had a good, happy Thanksgiving weekend, holidays week, and all that stuff. But we had a support right here. Same thing on AMD. AMD is still kind of like in a no man's land. So we still have our same levels on AMD. Nothing big in this range that I see for AMD, at least for now. Not even like a play that I would do tomorrow on AMD. But we do have Nvidia. So Nvidia broke its first support. It does have a second bigger support around 170, 140. We also want to move resistance level down on Nvidia around 180, 120. So Nvidia has to break one of these areas. That's what I think is the biggest key on Nvidia. Nvidia has not shown any strength. We are slowly dripping down. I think a big buy on Nvidia shares is going to be coming soon as well, but it needs to get down into like the 160s. It's not that far from it, right? So we want some more droppage. We actually want Nvidia to go down, and I want it to break that support. Once it breaks the support, I'm going to be looking for some nice heavy put options for it to go down into the 160s. So that's like the bigger play I'm looking out for Nvidia. Unless it breaks resistance, then of course we'll start looking for upsides, but I really want it down so I can buy more and then bigger gains on the longer term. AVGO did run up to all-time highs once it broke that resistance level at 380.13. It broke it right here on Tuesday, November 25th. That was all go time for it to start running up to all-time highs. Wednesday, it ran up to all-time highs, and then even Friday, it has some more push as well. I didn't trade. All I did was trade Monday and Tuesday. Took the whole week off. Like I said, I trade for freedom. So if you can't take a day off of trading, you probably don't have that freedom just yet, okay? And then, so November 24th, I took a trade, 15% gain on AMD. Then November 25th, I did about 4 trades, 2 on Microsoft, 1 on Amazon, and 1 on AMD. Then that was the only trades I did for this previous week. And yeah, but you can see all the plays that I do every day. Make sure you guys join the team. First thing I got in the description, Black Friday sale and Cyber Monday sale will be ending Monday. I'll prolong it till Monday. But yeah, so AVGO, we can take all our levels off AVGO. Love AVGO long term. Got long term shares. It's literally booming. And yeah, there's nothing I would do kind of in this range. Also, if you look at like TSM is getting closer to a resistance level at 294.90. So if TSM come up and break this area right here, then we might start to see TSM trying to go back to its all-time high. So if we break that resistance, maybe I'll start looking at some calls. I do have the long-term shares, holding those through, not selling those anytime soon. ARM support's going to stay the same. We do have the same resistance, so ARM still needs to show a little more strength. Break that resistance around 139.90, and then once it does that, then I might look for it to go up into like the high 140s, 145. So that would be a potential call. Then if it breaks support, of course, I'll be looking for the downside. And then if we go like to Cloudflare, same levels on Cloudflare. I don't really see anything big right now on Cloudflare. Let's go to Tesla. So Tesla, same support, same resistance. Nothing big in this area right here on Tesla. We still need to do some breakage. So Tesla still hasn't even broke a first resistance area yet, which is right around 44260. Still kind of waiting out for that, and then we have that support down here, but don't really see any bigger plays with Tesla right here. Tesla really has not moved since like September, right? We had a little up, we came down, up, came down, we went down, we came back up. We're always just kind of bobbling around this like 430 area, so no real direction on Tesla right yet. So we just want to be a little more patient because we want Tesla to move like this. Movement, directional, right? Which will be coming through Tesla. We just have to be a little patient. Directional. Notice how Tesla stalls out a while and then it gets directional. Look at this stall out. It stalled out for almost 4 months and then it started going crazy, right? We can make all our money with that one strength push while we're just patient in here, right? And again, Tesla doing the same thing again. So I think Tesla's going to have a bigger movement coming out of this range. So we want to make sure we're ready for that. Make sure you guys join the team, first in the description. And then let's go to Palantir. Palantir resistance 170.65. If we can break this resistance, then I might look for Palantir to go up to like the 177s to the 180s. So that would be a potential upside play for me. for Palantir to get some upside, but it has to break that resistance level first. Then we have the same support down there around 155.65, but we're very close to that resistance. So I'll see if Monday we can start breaking that resistance area. SoFi got some strength. So SoFi new resistance is right around 31.75, and then SoFi support around 28.60. So if SoFi breaks that resistance, then we're looking for SoFi to actually reach up into those all-time highs above like 33, 34. That'll be a potential call option play for me. Still a little room, but if we hold that strength up in there, that'll be a decent upside play. And then let's go to some of the Mag 7s. Apple, we're looking for Apple to run up to more all-time highs. So the all-time high of Apple currently is about 280.38. So we're looking for Apple to actually run through this. Hopefully Monday. Hopefully it does it quick. So I'm looking for that on Apple. We do have a smaller resistance area on Apple that is literally kind of it's right around like 278.70, kind of in this area. So we'll see if Monday we break that, but I'm looking for it to reach up to all-time highs on Monday. That's a potential bigger play. And then same support on Apple around 268.65. That hasn't changed, but we'll see if we get that strength on Monday. And then Meta, we did buy more Meta long-term shares down here around the 590, so that was a very good buy. Meta's starting to get strength. Meta was down like over, I think like 30% or so from the highs. Look at the highs that go down. Yeah, it was around 26 to 27%. So we bought some more heavy long-term shares in here. I actually want to buy some more, but Meta's getting some strength out of here. It also broke that resistance level and start to show more strength. So is Meta ready for a bigger reversal? It could be. What I'll be looking out for, we have a support here around 635.50. I'm looking for Meta to try to reach up into the 700 mark. So somewhere in this range, I'll be looking for like a setup for a call option buy to try to reach up in the 700s, only if we never break a support. So it's okay if it pulls down a little bit, but we just don't want to break a support and we want to continue the rise. And then I'll be looking for that 700 mark. But long-term shares wise, we did buy more, so I'm glad. Microsoft support. We'll change it around 475.50. That's the new support area for Microsoft. Resistance level the same. Microsoft is trying to show some strength of recovery, but we haven't broken a resistance yet, and that is where this level is around 504.60. So we're looking for Microsoft to break that area first. Then I'll probably start looking for calls to go to the higher side. Other than that, I'll just be kind of patient for now for Microsoft. But got it long term. I like it long term. Let's go to Amazon. So Amazon, what we could do is Amazon has a nice pressure. I really don't see anything clear on Amazon, but we have a support around 229.95. Nice little push up. I think this week we'll know a lot on these stocks to see if Amazon's going to like continue, if Meta's going to continue, or we're going to start pouring over, right? Because we're going to go to the SP 500 too, and there's key things in the SP 500 that can also help us. So I think Amazon sales hit about 11.8 billion, up 9% from last year. So that's decent, but they do have support, no clear resistance, no bigger plays that I see. Maybe if we have a pull down to a support, I'll look for that continuation. So pretty much trying to see if we continue this rise off Amazon as long as we stay above these supports. And then Google's just been on a monster tear. Our Google long-term shares are probably up over 80 something percent. We've been playing calls on Google for like the all-time high pushes, and yeah, support 297.35. If we have this smaller resistance level right here, if we try to break that, then Google might be ready to go back to all-time highs. So we'll see if we try to break that on Monday for Google to go up to the 332s and so forth. But that's probably the only play I'll kind of look out for as a high potential play for me. And then if we go to the S&P 500, major levels, we got an update on the SP 500. We have a resistance here around 681.70, but that already broke. So your next resistance is about 687 even. You have a bigger support around 664.35. And then, so the major thing we're looking out for in the SP 500, this is an ETF you want to be watching out for every day. If we break that resistance, SP 500 back to all-time highs. Very vertical run up here on SP 500. Are we even having our Christmas rally, right? The end of the year rally that we usually have. It seems like we're about to have that rally. So especially once we start breaking these resistance areas, especially on like the SP 500, I think we're going to get bigger pushes out of here. No more down. We're back to the upside right here, right? I think we even had like a week. We haven't even lost a play for a while. So very, very powerful. Focus on direction, focus on that market strength, and focus on high probable targets. So I'll be looking for calls on S&P 100 on Monday. As long as we don't have any like bigger pull downs, or even if we start to go down tomorrow, then I won't look for calls. But as long as we have that strength, I think calls for S&P 100 is looking good. Also like QQQ, SP 500, IWM. QQ has a resistance around 621.23. So you can look out for that. If that breaks, I'll be looking for calls. And then IWM doesn't have a clean resistance just yet, but I'll be looking for IWM to go back up to all-time highs as well. And then if you look at gold, gold has finally broke resistance area. So looking for calls on gold sometimes this week. The next resistance area is pretty far. It's like all the way up here on gold. So gold's doing pretty good, 470. And then you have a support around like 380.20-ish. So looking for gold calls to see if gold wants to go back up to all-time highs. And also silver ripped up back to all-time highs as well. Okay, so that's good for silver. Silver is on a tear. So no new levels on silver just yet. I'll just wait for there to be an entry. I think silver might just continue going up really. But yeah, silver has a lot of strength right now. And then if we go over some of the health sides, HIMS is trying to come back up, but it still has to break that resistance, 40.85. Then maybe I might buy shares of HIMS to try to reverse out of here to get maybe into the high 40s, maybe even the 50s if it holds that strength. Eli Lilly finally had its first pull down, so Eli Lilly reversal play of calls might be setting up. We have a resistance level around 1,090. If we can come back up and break areas of resistance, I'm looking for calls on Eli Lilly shorter term. And then also UNH. I want some more long-term shares of UNH that I'll probably buy sometimes this week. We have resistance around 334.40. I'm going to leave, I'm going to move support to about 321, 322. So those areas, if we break here on UNH, then we might start to see some more strength up into like the 350s of a little push of UNH. The airlines, trying to get a little strength. I think American Airlines is a decent buy area. We might buy on Monday in the Discord. We'll see. Looking for American Airlines to push up like to the 15s or so. So that's like the airline that I kind of like. Even the banks, JPM, Bank of America's is what I'm looking out for. Bank of America tested that resistance level almost perfect on Friday at $54. If we start to break that $54 mark, I'm looking for JPM to reach up, Bank of America to reach up to $55, which is an all-time high that it hasn't broken since 2006. So that's what I'm looking out for. Bank of America is really on the front end of the banks, and then I'm looking at JPM. Once it breaks that 318.60 area, I'm looking for JPM to reach up to all-time highs as well. Okay, so and a new support I'll probably add on JPM's around like 302.80, but that's what I'm looking out for the banks wise. And then, as y'all know, there's a lot of other stocks I'm looking at for. Bonds are still pretty slow. Nothing major new on the bond market. And then if you have Bitcoin, we did buy more Bitcoin down here in the 80s, I think around 85 or so. Smaller resistance, 92,590. Smaller support, 84,900. And looking to buy some more Bitcoin, right? I'm looking to make about 80% on the new Bitcoin buys that we're doing, maybe even 100, depending on how the strength comes. But yeah, 80,000 for Bitcoin. I think it can reach in the 150s longer term. And that's it for Bitcoin. Thank you guys for watching. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. Make sure you guys join the Discord. See us trade live every morning. But more importantly, learn by seeing me trade live, get 1% better, build that independence, actually learn how the markets work, build. You don't need to follow somebody forever. Build the freedom and you'll be set. So thank you guys for watching. Always my bird, not regulation bar. So anything just for educational purposes only. So do not trade anything you see or hear the video. Catch you guys on the next one.